Okay, time now for a check of what's happening in the world of business. Our business editor, Kate Moody's here. Hi there, Kate.
Hi, Tom.
Now, in this COVID era, there's a new type of passport being talked about, one that would keep track of whether or not you've been vaccinated against the virus.
Yeah, certainly one that could be in high demand for anyone who's hoping to travel again in the coming months. One that could open doors for both travel and business activity. A digital passport or certificate to show whether people have been vaccinated against COVID-19. Denmark this week began taking steps towards just that, joining forces with businesses and the tech industry. The government hopes to have those on the market in the coming months. But the technology does pose a number of challenges, as Ellen Gainsford reports.
Scenes like this may feel like a distant memory. But with coronavirus vaccines being rolled out in many countries, there's hopes a return to normality could be within sight. These digital documents could be key in making that happen. Vaccine passports that prove a person has been inoculated. The Danish government has launched a scheme in cooperation with business organisations in the country, which should go live in 3 to 4 months.
Men der også dele af det danske samfund, som har behov for at komme videre. Der et erhvervsliv.
There's hope such documents could help shuttered businesses reopen and ease travel restrictions, removing the need to quarantine for those who've had a jab. The European Commission is considering its own scheme, which could enable travel across the bloc this summer. But questions remain over how to regulate the passes and how personal data should be stored.
Task that, as a team, we set ourselves was, how can we produce a vaccine certificate which in the end only has 2 bits of information in it? One is, has this person been vaccinated? And the other is, what does this person look like? You really don't need to know anything else at all.
Many airlines back the plans, and the International Air Transport Association has developed its own digital travel pass, a mobile application that would hold proof of coronavirus tests or vaccines. Etihad Airways and Emirates will be the first carriers to trial the application.
The number of Americans applying for unemployment benefits dropped slightly for a third week in a row. 779,000 first-time claims were recorded last week, down from 812,000 the previous week. It is still nearly 4 times the pre-pandemic weekly average. In total, some 17.8 million people are receiving unemployment benefits across the United States. That includes those who are covered by emergency pandemic programs. The payroll firm ADP, meanwhile, says employers in the private sector hired 174,000 new workers in January. That's far more than anticipated, and a sharp turnaround from December's losses. Government data on Friday are expected to confirm the unemployment rate held around 6.7% in January. Meanwhile, the Biden administration continues to work on a $1.9 trillion stimulus and relief plan, while Republicans have put forward a $600 billion counteroffer. Democrats in the House of Representatives on Wednesday cleared the way to push the legislation through along party lines, although the president is still hoping for bipartisan support. Let's check in on the day's trading action now. Wall Street is trending higher. The Dow Jones adding over 250 points this hour. The Nasdaq is up. It's being boosted by the likes of eBay, up around 6%, and PayPal on stronger than expected quarterly results there. Stocks in Paris, Frankfurt, and Milan all closed higher. The FTSE 100 was slightly lower in London after the Bank of England left interest rates and monetary policy unchanged. Authorities there, though, have warned UK lenders they might need at least 6 months to prepare for a potential shift to negative interest rates. Shares of Deutsche Bank flat, even as it managed a small profit for 2020, its first in several years. There have been protests across France today as unions call for the protection of public sector jobs. Students, nurses, teachers, and theatre professionals among those taking part. Demonstrations were also held outside the offices and labs of Sanofi, the French pharmaceutical giant, which recently announced plans to cut over 350 jobs from its research and development unit. Sanofi and partner GlaxoSmithKline have fallen behind in the race to develop a COVID-19 vaccine, and one Sanofi lab is set to begin producing the vaccine that was developed by competitors Pfizer and BioNTech to boost output. Employees accuse the drug maker of making mistakes in its investments and strategy that prioritize profits over science.
Depuis quelques années, c'est de l'externalisation galopante, c'est-à-dire que Sanofi fait de plus en plus travailler dans des boîtes sous-traitantes pour le cœur de métier. Alors moi, je suis chimiste depuis 32 ans ici sur le site de Vitry, et mon métier, la chimie, est maintenant réalisé dans des universités ou dans des boîtes chinoises qui font le métier de chimiste à notre place.
Now, Sanofi has told France 24 journalists today that it is investing some 6 billion euros over the next 3 years in development of its own treatments. But Tom, this is not really going over very well with the people who are quite understandably angry about these job cuts in the middle of a pandemic.
Absolutely. We've talked about it a lot in the news. I think that story hasn't completely disappeared either. Thank you very much indeed, our business editor, Kate Moody. Thank you.